So essentially what took place now was, I was like, what happens from here?
Yeah.
And then the guy that takes the people in custody up to the courtroom, I asked him, like, what happens? And he's like, I was like, you know, what happens next? Yeah. He's like, you're going in jail, mate. So basically what happened was, it was a magistrate's court, which meant that they were too low to give any say on the nature of the case.
Verdict,
so they had to send it to a court, higher, which was the Crown Court, which is murder, anything higher basically, any murder and everything beneath it, right? So I'm like, I'm going to jail. Heart just dropped. I was like, man, like, jail, this is mad. So, Charlie, I'm in this circle van. It's a tight van, like cubicle basically, dark window. And as I'm on the journey of going to jail, it's like, how did I get here? Like, how did I get here? But that being the case, around the time of when I was selling drugs, doing fraud, doing all these things, I was doing music as well. Wow. And I was in the secular space of things. And had close ties with some of the influential UK rap artists. So whilst I was in prison, it gave me the opportunity to get closer to God. Life slowed down to the point where now I could really begin to question myself and the decisions I made and why I was in that particular place.
How long were you in prison for?
So I was looking at 10 years.
Was it because the guard was...
The 2 firearms and also attempted robbery. We didn't actually leave with anything. So...
Okay, so attempted.
What happened was, my guys, they didn't ever get caught. And essentially each time that I'd go back to court, from jail to court, from jail to court, there was no progress on the case. So the judge basically said to the prosecution that if I have to come back to this, if you have to come back to this courtroom, courtroom, and we've made no progress, I'm going to fling this entire case out. So essentially that meant that they had to quickly find something to pin on me. But obviously the reason why I was taking so long was because they wanted to pin the guns on me. Because they didn't have any hard proof, they didn't have any hard evidence of that, they had to settle with just doing me for attempted robbery. So I was charged with 2 firearms, attempted robbery. I pleaded guilty to attempted robbery. Wow. So that they consider and they take time off. Your first time in prison, they take time off. And then also in the UK, you do half of your time. So I was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. Wow. I should actually mention, my mum at that time became really on fire for Christ. Wow. See, it's in those moments when we're in desperate need. So we have a family pastor who I knew back when I was that young. I prophesied a few things. But my mum contacts him, right? And he basically says, he's not going to be there for long. On Chewa. The Lord is keeping him there safe. So you see these things that take place in the spirit. It's not everything that meets the eye. Like there's something else that's happening that's so dynamic that you can't even comprehend it. So he's like, the Lord is keeping him there safe. And the maddest thing is, I remember when I came out of prison and I got into close ties with these guys in the music industry, the Lord gave me 3 dreams that I was going to be a blood sacrifice. Whoa. 3, not 1, but 3 specific dreams. Wow. So the prophet's prophecy was perfect. I only spent a year in prison. And the nature of my case, they were saying the minimum you get is 5. Wow. And that's even if like things really go your way. But yeah, the prophet's word was real, and I spent a year there. But upon my release, I had this burning desire and passion to make my mum proud. And I remember my mum coming to see me in prison one time, the first time actually, and Charlie just feeling like I'd failed at life, man. Ma, it's the same. Mom, I feel. Ma, Hoya, silent. First words. She's like, I didn't ever think I'd have to come to a place like this to ever visit you. I promise you, bro. It crushed me, it tore me apart, man. So when I went back to my cell that evening, I was like, nah, man, Leslie Abrocco has to be successful. And I remember prior to going to prison, I was also listening to a lot of secular music, and I knew Drake way before he blew up. Like, no one knew him, bro. He was underground, and I was following him, and then he blew up. As I went jogging, he blew up. And then he had this song with Trey Songz called Successful. And in my jail cell, that was like my mantra. Tim Westwood would be playing that. That was like, I used to just tap into that.
Yeah.
And that really helped me get into the mindset of like, I'm gonna be successful. I'm telling myself, I used to write around the cell wall, write my name, Leslie Abroka's gonna be successful around the cell.
Yeah.
So this is what I say to myself every single day. And on my last day, I made a vow and a promise that I'll never visit a place like prison ever again. So, true to my words, as I was leaving, the jailer guy, or shall I say the govs, they call them the govs, the prison guys, call them govs. He was like, "You leaving, are ya? Should we save a room? You leaving, are ya?
Leaving, are ya?
Should we save your room?" And I swore at him. All I remember is I swore at him. And then I left. And Charlie, I didn't ever get into anything that would mean that I would go back to prison. However, upon my release, it was a tug of war.
Yeah.
Saw friends of nice things, and it's like people are doing this, doing that.
So you were tempted to go back.
So I was tempted to go back, and I got back into it, and I was making a lot of money. And at that age, bro, I was making like £2,000 a week.
Mad. This is what, like 10 years ago.
Charlie,
right? Yeah.
20 at the age of 2021, making £2,000 a week.
Mad.
So it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Not knowing what to do with the money.
Yeah.
I'm blowing it. Nightclubs.
Yeah.
Clothes, jewelry, this, that.
So
and
what made you stop?
I had to
Because
remind
making
myself,
£2,000 a week.
do you know what's so mad, yeah? I remember when I decided that I wanted to let it up, my friends didn't understand. But I remember, because basically I was still back on the fraud stuff again.
Yeah.
And I had a dream, right? I used to do these long trips to outskirts of London. And I remember I had this dream, and God spoke to me, tree. Wow. And I've never had a dream where there's like tree involved, bro. Like usually
that's
English.
Actually really cool.
That's been like 90, nah, maybe not 90, because my mom always speaks to me in tree.
What did he say? What did God say?
He's like, yeah, but you are. That's all he said, fam. That's all he said. Yeah, but you are. Bro, but when I say my heart dropped, because at that point in time where I was around.
Nah, bro, wait.
I said, you can't slow down.
When you woke up from that dream, like, were you sweating, were you panicking?
Bro, I was shook.
Like,
God spoke to me directly, like, boom. It was like a warning. It was a strong warning. It was direct, But the reason why it was such a strong warning was because I was around the rich and famous.
Right.
I'd been to these big festivals and
because you were integrating into, like the high class entertainers and stuff,
this is it, right? So around all these Kings of Leon, the Scripts and the Beyoncés and all this, seeing them do their thing backstage and I'm just like, everyone back here is like downcast. Like, this surely isn't what I see on stage. All didn't make sense to me, but I was. So here's where my story shifts, because I finished prison, do my time, go back to college, finish everything that I was doing there, pass with flying colours.
You went Cambridge, right?
Cambridge, yes.
Nice. It's Cambridge.
Okay, Cambridge, Cambridge.
I apologize.
So I get to Cambridge. So even before Cambridge, there was this whole tug of war, and I said to myself, based off of that song Successful, I want to come out, do my music and blow up. Inspired by Drake's success and all of that stuff. So they say it's not what you know, it's who you know. So I placed myself around the who you knows. And the who you knows, Charlie, they've already sold them souls to the devil. Just to put it plainly, we've only got 30 minutes, right? They've sold their souls to the devil. I'm around them and I'm seeing certain things. But remember, they're not just going to show you, hey, this is what we do.
Obviously, you have to like
bit by bit. However, because I didn't believe the stuff was real, I would basically speak certain things like, I'll join the Illuminati. I'll join the Freemasons.
Because you didn't say much serious.
I didn't deem it to be real. I was like, this is all make believe. Like, this is exactly quite casual, right? So, putting it out there, I just definitely wanted to test waters to see if it was real. Now, by way of me doing that, I opened up a way for them to now have this access.
Right.
So now they were showing me things. But I would play dumb. Like me in there, so I don't know what's happening. Right? However, when it now involved me, I said, I'm done. Now, I'll share a quick story with you, right? I leave prison.
Yeah.
A UK artist who ends up getting a #1 album.
Yeah.
He's traveled to America, done songs with big artists.
Yeah.
Such as Chris Brown, Meek Mills, etc. Probably giving away who it is, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think I know who he is.
Yeah. So boom now. He's like, boom, he wants to see me, he wants to link up, it's been a while, etc. And there's a girl who lives across the road from my mum's place. So I leave prison, I go to my mum's. I don't go to a shared accommodation or anything like that. Because I really want to
make her proud.
grasp this aspect of making her proud.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, let me just go back home. Just to put her at ease. Because this woman's lost so much weight.
Yeah.
She hasn't shared with anyone. Like, let me just go back home.
Yeah.
So anyway, link up with this brother. And he's just come back from America. There's 5 girls, 3 guys. We eat, smoke, chill, chat, the rest of it, right?
All of the C's.
All of the C's, right? Cool. And that's actually a pun, by the way. That's a pun. That's a very clever pun. That's a very clever pun. Those that get it will get it.
Yeah.
But,
I'm lost.
Yeah.
But 5 girls, 3 guys. At the end of, in the evening, very evening, because we got there, say late afternoon. So in the evening time, one of the girls, so this album is not out yet, one of the girls is like, oh, can we hear some of your new music?
Yeah.
And then this artist goes, you want to hear my new music? Yeah, he starts laughing.
Yeah.
He's like, but first, we got to turn off the light. So in my mind, I'm like, well, bro, the light got
sounds
to do
like
with
a
music.
ritual, isn't it? Like,
however, I've heard stuff about him from some of our friendship circles. So I'm like, I'm not going to judge this guy off of what I've heard.
Right, you want to see
him in prison and da.
You like to see
if I see it, I believe it. So God being good, I didn't really believe that stuff. And I thought for me, I needed to get close to it.
And see if it was
to
real.
know, like, yo,
yeah, for real.
That's not the way you want to go.
Yeah.
You get me? So one of the girls turns off the light. Pap. I'm like, yo, what's going on? So in me, yeah, I'm like, I want to bounce. But because there's more girls than guys, I'm locked in.
Bro,
I don't want to seem like some. I don't want to seem like some wuss.
We need more estrogen in the room.
Chale, I'm locked in. So the light's off now, and then all I hear is yeah. Now that the light's off, we all got to hold hands and spiritually connect the way the song was made.
Bro,
I was like,
is it like a gospel song?
Bro.
Why are you spiritually connected, bro?
So I'm like, I'm not holding no one's hand. And I fold my arms. It's getting intense in the food.
It's getting proper intense, yeah? What's this? It's big, thank you.
I feel like if we open enough flies, we'll just...
Yeah, I'm not even going to open it. I just want to... You've got 2 boxes. This is mine, by the way. Yeah.
So now, they're all holding hands. I'm like, I ain't holding no one's hand. So as much as I've obviously been entertaining that stuff, I'm not holding. So actually, prior to that, right? Listen to this now. I folded my arms.
Yeah.
They're all holding hands. I'm the only one out.
You didn't hold hands?
No? For what? What? For what, bro?
It wouldn't be that bad, bro.
Nah. You're mad. No way, bro. Do you know what? Because I felt like it was some kind of initiation.
It was.
And the fact that I'd come out of prison, spiritually something had happened.
Right.
Something had gone on.
Yeah.
Spiritually, bro. Something had gone on whilst I was in prison.
Yeah.
And I mean, the prophet said, hey, the Lord is keeping
you safe. Yeah. You're not going to
So I don't really know. Like, when I look back now, I don't really know what's happening in the spirit.
Exactly,
but God had a plan, so did the devil, though.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
So did the devil. He wanted to come to intercept God's plan.
Yeah.
So they're all holding hands. He's got a Dre Beats pill in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
As soon as he starts playing this music, the whole room goes cold. Meanwhile, I'm wearing a jumper. So it's not like I'm in some string vest or some vest.
And it's not winter.
Well, it definitely wasn't winter. It's about autumn, right? It was about
autumn, right?
A cold presence has come in the room.
You can feel like something was channeled into the room.
Something has come in the room. And this guy is
an entity.
Something.
Yeah.
And the whole room is cold. When I say my teeth was doing this, bro, I was shaking. And prior to us getting to the house, my mate that I went with, because he was the one that was bridging the gap for me to link him and rare. because he was rolling with him hard when I was in prison.
Yeah.
You get me? So he said to me, bro, I don't want to drink and I don't want to smoke. This is whilst he knocked the door. This is exactly what he said to me before he got into the house.
Inside. Yeah.
So I was like, bruv, if you don't want to drink, don't drink.
Why,
if you don't want to smoke, don't smoke.
Yeah.
It's like, have some willpower, man.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said to him. And he's like, yeah, for real, innit? For real, innit? It's like, yeah, obviously. And then we get in the house, and as soon as he's seen this artist guy, he starts taking shots. I'm like, wasn't you the guy that was just saying don't want to drink?
You don't want to take drugs?
But I didn't get it at the time. Now that I'm more mature in the Lord and mature of the things of the Spirit.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I get it now. It's like, yo, there's a spiritual hierarchy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You get where I'm coming from. Same way an usher is subject to the pastor's orders, so to speak, right? Like, oh, I'd like you to do this. They'll go and do it. Yeah. Same thing on their end of things. There's a spiritual hierarchy, right? That person was essentially the shepherd of that flock, if I can put it that way, right? So I'm like, wow, that's mad. But for me, I'm chilling. I didn't tell anyone I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that. So sipping slowly, smoking, and then the guy cooks. And now that I'm in the Lord and knowing certain things, like I mentioned, there's one of three ways in which they can initiate. It's through food, through sex, and through dreams.
Wow.
Yeah.
Food,
Crazy.
dreams.
Dreams, of course. A lot of things happen in dreams.
Yeah, I've been fighting in my dreams a lot. For real.
So, obviously, the food aspect, I'm just looking, it's like, whatever. Like, I'm
not hungry.
I'm blind to it all, bro.
Yeah.
That's the truth. I'm blind to it all. But obviously, that I've been in church. It's like, I know the Lord. The Lord knows me.
Yeah.
I'm a lost sheep, though.
Yeah.
You get me? And I didn't have plans to go back. So they're all holding hands at this point, bro.
Wow.
And the song was 3 minutes and 30 something seconds. It was the longest.
Did it have
3 minutes?
Did it have like
something.
a feature? The song.
It did have a feature.
Who was featured on that song? Why? What, you don't know the artist?
See if I say the name.
Yeah. No, just say.
No. Hear this.
Yeah.
No. If I say the name, it's gonna expose everything.
Okay, because but a lot of people are featured that artist. Because they know that you and that person are.
Yeah, they know. Because I was heavily around those guys, right?
Okay, just text it to me though.
All right, cool. For sure, bro. I'll do that. Who knows? Maybe in the comments I might do that.
For real. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Whole place was swept.
The whole place was cold, bro.
Yeah.
And bro, we was in a spiritual state. And mind you, I'd been smoking. So I was on another plane. I'd opened myself up for these spirits, right?
Yeah.
So as the song is playing, I'm listening to it from a spiritual standpoint. And the things that are being said on the song, you think it's a breakup song. On the natural, you think it's a breakup song, like, Charlie, the girl cheated on him.
Yeah.
You know, he the ball, whatever it is, a Ghanaian man said. You get me?
Yeah.
Like, but bro, what he's saying in the song is that the devil has deceived him. So the devil was the girl. The devil has deceived him, he's been cheated on. And he's now stuck in a place that he can't get out.
Yikes.
He's in hell.
Yikes.
And the person is essentially screaming for.
So it's not about a girl.
It's not about a girl, but it's rather about hell.
It's rather about hell.
So, bro, crazy. So when the whole situation happened, the music stopped after something that felt like eternity. Because, bro, like at that time, I felt like we was outside the paradigm of time. We was in a different space.
Yeah.
You get where I'm coming from? We was outside of time at that point. Yeah. Because something spiritual was happening.
Yeah.
And I was out of that link.
Wow.
Now, when the song stopped, the person sitting opposite this artist that was holding his hand and all of that was pale and purple.
Whoa.
She was white. Pale and purple. How she looked is how I felt. I mean, I'm black, you know, but
obviously.
But inside what was going on. Now, whilst the song was playing, the guy that took me there, I now understood why he didn't want to drink or smoke. Why? Because he would be opened up. He now became possessed whilst the song was playing.
Wow.
And he's like,
oh my
for a
God.
scary ride.
He did say that.
That's what he said. And I was so scared. I was like, fix up, bro, fix up.
You were trying to tell him to
I was
fix up.
in the dark. I was like, fix up, bro, fix up. And then he goes underneath the table, shows me a friend of mine who ended up playing for a football team, Premiership team, and ended up playing for England as well.
Right.
And cut a long story short, he covered one of their eyes. But he's no longer himself right now. He just showed me underneath the table, cover the person's eyes, one of their eye, to basically tell me that they are in this thing as well. So he didn't have to tell me, but it's because we was in a spiritual state. Things were being said that weren't even being said. It wasn't even being uttered. Just covered his eye and I just knew exactly what he meant by that.
Right. Are you still in touch with that artist?
I actually am.
You are? Here and there,
But I cut them off for a series of years.
Right.
Because I felt like I wasn't spiritually built up to a place where
that kind
I could have that kind of interaction. But to get to the end, or share a bit of the end, when I completely cut ties, although I'd physically removed myself, they were spiritually coming from me. Because I knew all their secrets. So that story I've just shared with you is just the intro of some of the things I encountered. You get me?
Sorry,
So how do you go from hanging out with these people who are into this stuff, making £2,000 a week, doing all of this, to where you are now, being on fire for God?
So, music was one thing. I shouldn't be eating my mouth.
Let's give it
You guys can cut it.
Do you need a drink or something? Oh, you're good. It's legit.
So essentially, it's like a double edge because the fast money was one side of my life, but that was a different crowd. But that fast money induced a fast lifestyle. So we'd go to club appearances and everything would be paid for, drinks, hotels, didn't have to spend a penny. However, that was two separate domains.
Worlds.
Two different worlds, right? So I can't really put it together, but just it being me, it's like it just merged. If that makes sense.
I think she was trying to find out how you reintegrated into Christianity, the walk, the body, that type of thing. But before you answer that question, there's often a stigma that people have to people who were once incarcerated, right? So when you came out, what was the reception or the reaction of, the friends that you had, or even family, to you? Was it easy, reintegrating into society, or do you have some hard times?
I'll tell you why I love that question, because Africans in general have that stigma.
Mad.
So even me sharing this now, hey,
there's gotta be
Oko prison. Dumno. It's like those people just cut people off. Even if Christ wanted to save you, they're like, nah, you're not allowed. They're not allowed. These times they don't know big up.
For real.
Disciples went prison, fam.
Exactly.
They got lashed. They got beaten. They don't even. It's like that part. They don't read it.
Jail for robbery,
bro. No, but they went to jail. Do you think they'll mind if you came out of jail right now? What you did? If you walked into a market and it's not no free jail labor. Do you think they'll care what you did? They won't really care. Do you get it?
So it definitely carries a stigma, right? And I think that stigma, just you having the mindset of this has a stigma. It sticks to you. It sticks to you. So you operate at that place.
Like that,
So at that time I had a gold tooth and all this stuff, right? And I remember a form tutor, my college form tutor, who was a white man.
Right.
He rested in peace, right? I gave him help. Prior to going to jail, I gave him help. And then, because I was in a crazy time of my life then, evidently I ended up in prison.
Right.
Now, whilst I was in prison, check up on my mom, send me letters, send me books.
Wow.
Now, the head of the faculty of the course in which I was doing, which was media studies at the time, was bent on kicking me out of the school.
Whoa.
Yeah, because he was willing to fight for me to ensure that I get in.
Wow. Just because of your past?
Just because of my past, and that because it was a new college, it would bring a bad stigma to the institution.
Yeah.
So they didn't want me anywhere near it. But hear this now, when I get to Cambridge, they now want to start
telling your story.
Telling my story.
Sure. Is how you go on BBC?
Yeah. No. So I got on BBC because so when I came out of prison, I said, look, I want to give back to the youth.
Right.
Because I can only imagine that there are many other young Leslies out there that would have been faced with different choices, peer pressures and broken homes, that may not know how to navigate these big choices, right? So why don't I just give my time? Even if I just save one child, help redirect one child, I've done a great job. So the Lord took me on a journey and a process to stripping me away. So the gold tooth I ended up taking out. So this film shoot I was telling you about got me a job in a law firm. So I was working with top flight law firms in the UK.
I like the irony.
Suited and booted. But however, I was rugged. Gold tooth, suited and booted. So it's like, it just didn't fit. Like I'm talking like the biggest law firms in the UK. And it just didn't fit. So it's like, I felt compelled, not because of that, but I just felt compelled, like I think this gold tooth needs to go now. So I felt like it was, me taking it out would be a symbolic act of going in a new direction. So that stigma was on me, but then the gold tooth is like, you're a gangster or you're involved in something.
It was,
so I was like, I want to just cut that off because I'm not heading there anymore. I'm going in this way. So I feel like that stigma is there because it was there over in the UK. But as time was going on, the industry which I was in, I was fit for purpose there.
Great.
So for the young people, it's like, cool, this guy's seen it, he's been there, he's done that, wore the t-shirt, burnt it. I want to hear what he's got to say. So because of that, it meant that I was suitable for the environment that God decided to place me in. Now, whilst I was doing that, I wanted to further my expertise in the space of youth. And I also wanted to dive deeper in my faith. So I decided to apply for uni. And youth and theology would be what I'd read in uni. Cambridge happened to be one of them. I met this man in church called Sam Adolfo, Ghanaian man, who basically linked up with him whilst I was working in the law firm. So the idea was to link the young people with the top flight law firms. Because what I'll do is I'll take young children to different law firms, and essentially it would enable them to aspire to do great things and become lawyers one day, and just to get the whole experience. And I loved that, bro. I was like, wow, if I had someone like this in my life at that age, I don't think I would have got jail. Because my only examples was where you ended, the trap, selling,
the food,
all of that stuff, bro. So it's like, if I had a positive example, like that, I probably would have gone somewhere else. I was like, you know what, why don't I be that example? Although I've gone this way, I think I can go another way and redirect some of these young people. But in the midst of me doing that, it enabled me to find purpose. Do you get me? So God has called me to the youth and called me to really speak into their lives and help them navigate the next phase. So that's what that looked like, man. So the stigma was a stigma for a particular
stigma was a purpose, right?
But it had a purpose.
I'm still having a hard time like connecting the two ends of the story. You were with all these people, the highways with your...
essentially, what brought me to Christ?
Do you know what? I feel like we need to have like a second session.
Do you know what it is though?
For Rowena and you, because...
No, do you know what it is? Let me tell you this.
No, that is already like...
Let me tell you this though. Let me just tell you this. So essentially, as much as I, took a direction completely outside of the will of God, and got involved in all that stuff for X amount of years, that wasn't what brought me back. Me going to prison wasn't what brought me back. It helped me slow down and look towards God. But what led me towards God was the reality of how dark not only this world, but even the industry, the music industry is and was. So I was asking myself, listen, if this dark is this real and tangible, this Jesus that I knew, he's real.
He must be real.
He must be. So essentially, I knew that I wasn't going to be walking side by side with these guys. So although I'd physically remove myself, they were spiritually coming for me. So I said to myself, listen, I need to take cover. And listen, the Lord is a strong tower. Come on. So let me run into the house of the Lord. So that is essentially what led me onto this path with the Lord. Over 10 years now.
Man.
Yeah, man, been saved and walking on this journey, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful testimony.
Appreciate it.
Guys,
to God be the glory.
For real, man, I feel like this has been our most intriguing episode so far. I mean, like, everyone in the studio is shook. And also, like, you know, just blessed to hear this testimony of how it didn't end, you know, in evil or in darkness, but you still found your way to the light, right? And I mean, like, just relating everything you said today, it just reminds me of what Jesus said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. You know, like, it's easier for us to believe that God is with us when we're on the mountaintop. But I mean, like, in jail or in prison, how are you able to, like, reconcile, you know, that thought or that reality, or that God is there with you? Because if in our minds, if He was with you, you're not going to be in that situation, right? Yeah. So I feel like this was a very necessary episode. Not gonna lie, I appreciate you coming in and
Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, man. Like, thank you so much for sharing the story. Had goosebumps, like, in between. Yeah, we had some good love, some good food as well. Sure. But I feel like you're definitely gonna have to come back again, because I feel like there's more that you have to share.
For sure.
There's still, like, young people who are probably watching this and saying, "Nah, man, allow that. It's not. It's just a story, or
for sure.
It's not real." It's not.
Do you know what? That was me.
That was you.
That was me, because
right?
I was on the receiving end of someone's story like this.
Yeah.
But I was like, I need to see it to believe
For
it.
yourself. Yeah.
And him being good, because truth is, as close as I got, not many people come out alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing all of that experience and all of that.
Yeah,
so,
for real.
My pleasure, man, being here, and you give God the glory, man.
Thank you so much, man. I can see Lady Rowena already packing her cups.
Was there some kind of game we were going to play?
Yeah, there's a kind of game. So every guest that comes on the set, I can already see Lady Rowena shuffling the cups. So every guest that comes on the set gets a sort of a gift from some of our sponsors. And I can't wait to see what you pick up.
Tell me what the gifts are, so I know where to go.
Nah, bro, we can't tell you. We can't disclose.
This one you have to ask the Holy Spirit.
Range Rover, Ferrari.
That's a Bentley, bro. For real.
Cool, man.
So yeah.
So I can pick one, yeah?
Yeah, choose one, man.
On the right side. What's this?
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, free haircut. Cool, man. For sure, bro.
Can you show it to the camera?
For sure.
Nice. That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's gonna be the birthday trip. My birthday is in a couple of weeks.
Haircut, yeah.
Nice.
So I'll save that one for that one.
Nice.
Appreciate that.
Right, thank you very much for tuning in today. It's the Waves on Wings show, aka the Wow Show. My name is Kingzkid. Doing this with Lady Rowena. I want to give a special shout out to our sponsors for today. Grassy Company gave us some nice costumes. Shout out to our partners, Simbisa Brands Limited, Ghana, Mother Company for Pizza Inn, Chicken Inn, and a whole lot of other companies. We'll let you know later. We've really enjoyed ourselves today, not gonna lie. Even my guest, man, like, you went in. So me. So thank you for tuning in. Like we always promise you on the show, we don't leave you without a dose of inspiration. Today has been like a bucket full. We're excited to our guest, Leslie Skye, for coming through. Very exciting story. We're looking forward to bringing you more next week. Rowena, you got something to say?
No, usually I escape this part because I'm eating now.
But yeah, thank you to the entire team, all of the guys, BTS, we appreciate you coming. We're coming back same time next time with another episode. This is Waves on Wings, aka the Wow Show. Stick and stay. Yeah, boy.
That's the one. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Wherever you lead me, send me wherever you need me, Lord. I'll go wherever you lead me. Send me wherever you need me, Lord. Slide to the left, slide to the right, 2 steps back, do the ocean wave. Slide to the left, slide to the right, 2 steps back, do the ocean wave. Ocean wave, ocean wave, ocean wave. As you're on the mix, so